In this quick PowerPoint presentation, I'll be walking through some of the parts that I plan on using for my training. This assignment was very similar to one that I had to do in my last class. This content will be very similar but modified to fit the needs of this particular assignment. Within this course, students will be learning how to use the program called IXL. IXL is a website that is full of practice problems outlining common core state standards in the fields of mathematics and English. Due to the pandemic, my school district wanted a way to measure the learning loss of these students. Therefore, IXL will be required to be done and used weekly by all students. In this course, learners will first learn how to log in and access their basic information. After that, students will learn how to navigate to the specific tabs to access their scores from the Learning Loss Diagnostic. Finally, the course will finish with ways students can access the program to help them increase their knowledge and skills in topics that they're learning in class. The target audience for this course is any student who attends Coal City Middle School. The school has roughly 455 students in the building, with it spanning 3 grade levels, 6th through 8th. Due to the pandemic, our school district allows students to either learn from school or learn from their homes. While a majority of the learners will be at school doing the training, there will be a decent amount who will be at home. If students are learning from home, they are required to attend Google Meets and will still have the support of the instructors. Thinking about the future, after the training is done for all grade levels, it would only need to be continued every year for the incoming 6th grade class. If you are a 6th grader this year, you will not be required to take the course every school year unless you need a refresher. Within Module 1, students will be introduced to the program IXL. They will start to learn the basics of the program and its main intent for our school district. By the end of the module, students will be able to do the following. Students will be able to log onto the computer and use the program IXL using their school credentials in 3 minutes or less, and students will be able to access their diagnostic test after logging in 3 minutes or less. In Module 2, students will be learning additional ways that the program IXL can be used to benefit them. By the end of Module 2, students will be able to do the following. Students will be able to access their skills from their specific workbook that aligns with the current state standards they're working on, and students will be able to navigate to the particular parts of IXL from a verbal command in about 3 minutes. These are the main objectives needed for students to be successful within this course. This course will be technologically heavy since the course focuses on the implementation of IXL. To start, every student has a Chromebook whether they are at home or at school. They are school issued, so all students are working with the same equipment. Next, Google Classroom will be used in the way that Canvas is used for our class. Google Classroom is where I will post modules, have discussions, and provide grades and feedback. Students have been using Google Classroom for most of their educational career, so they'll be very familiar with the program. Finally, students will be using IXL on their Chromebooks. They will be on the site constantly while doing the training. Most of these students are very independent when it comes to technology use as long as they're given instructions on what to do. I am confident they will not have many issues in the technological aspect of this course. I did my best to follow the Assure model when creating my course. The Assure method is one that most resembles what a teacher would actually do in their classroom. In my 3rd class, I analyzed the learners and stated my objectives. In this class, I focused on selecting the media and utilizing them to fit the needs of my learners. When my learners actually take the course, I'll be able to have them participate and revise anything I need. I have evaluations for students to complete, and then I will read those as well. Before I get to my training, the navigation is very simple. Students will have to work through part of the training and then hit continue. I wanted to make sure that I chunked the material into pieces that would be 5 to 10 minutes apiece. Since my audience is middle schoolers, I need to keep the material short and sweet. Having been teaching at Coal City Middle School for 4 years now, I know that their attention span can be very short. With this in mind, I kept the chunking as short as I could while keeping the flow natural. Finally, I chose the green color for one simple reason. The green is our school color. I wanted to make the color something that the students could relate to. Our school uses the green color for a lot of papers, activities, and technological pieces. The students will instantly know that this is something made by Coal City Middle School. You will be able to see these aspects as I walk through the actual course I've built so far. So here is what my course will look like. Let me take you to the main page. So here you will be able to read the details of the course and then access the different parts. The first part will be the pre-evaluation. Once I have that built, the students will take a mini survey just like we do in our courses on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not confident in the material and 5 being very confident. Once they finish the pre-evaluation, they'll move on to the module. In Module 1, they'll be welcomed, stated the objectives, and once they scroll down, they'll be given a step-by-step on how to get into IXL. After that, they'll scroll down, and they'll be given a little preface of what will be coming next, and then they will move on to sorting the different usernames by correct credential or incorrect. So this one would be incorrect, this one would be correct, and they would just keep on going back and forth until they did them all. They will continue to scroll, and again, I'll remind them. And finally, they'll be wrapped up with a video to watch and picture that has different things that they can click on and interact with to see the different parts of the diagnostic test. Once they finish Module 1, they will move on to Module 2. And this is where I have finished building my training. Module 2, I have the introduction so far, and then again, the continue button will move on to the next portions. I don't have that built yet, but once it is built, they'll go through Module 2, and then they will take a quiz over Module 1, Module 2. Now, most of my classmates have seen this already, but when you start the quiz, I'll have questions in there. It will be aligned to certain objectives from the modules. They'll be able to retake the quiz as many times as they want, but the goal is for them to get a 100 without taking it too many times. After the quiz, I will have a post-evaluation, and then that is my course as of right now. I am looking forward to any feedback you guys are giving me, and thanks. Have a good day.